Hi, welcome to Catching Up with the Coalition. I'm Amber Bisal, and this is my co-host.
I'm Carissa.
Wow, we missed a month. I think two. Did we really?
think we
Oh, I'm sorry. I know
Sorry, y'all.
I know we're like so off, but we're back, and we're excited to do a new show. We also have other guests joining us today, and so to my left is
Meredith.
Brian.
And we will definitely get to know them more. They are new members of our team, really new. Well, Brian's not so really new.
Yeah.
Meredith is very new. But we love it when we can bring some of our fellow coworkers on the show so you get to meet them.
Yeah.
But generally, guys, we start with some announcements like what's happening. So, Carissa, what's happening?
Ooh, what's happening?
I heard a new way to phrase it, by the way,
Oh,
that I
is it?
think we need to steal.
Okay.
What's good and what's new?
Ooh, what's good and what's new? I like
Good and
that.
what's new?
What's good is it's beautiful out today. Just have to
It
throw
is
that out there.
amazing. Out
Absolutely
today.
beautiful day. What's new? So you'll be seeing this in May.
Mm-hmm.
So May is the ending of our school year programming, which is bananas.
Bonkers.
Bananas to think
How
about.
are we here?
Oh, no idea. But what also happens in May is our teen writing workshop will do their spring showcase, and I'm super excited about it because it's kind of a bigger production.
Yeah.
I could say for them. It is at 3 West Events, which is the NORAD Mill space, which
Yep.
is an absolutely beautiful space if you've never been in there. We have about 15 young people sharing art and sharing poetry or stories. Really, really good stuff. That's always free to attend. So it's May 22nd from 5 to 7. Totally free. Even if you don't have a young person in the program, like just come to support the young people because I sit there in awe of some of their storytelling.
They're amazing.
They're
And
so good.
our youth in the last, I would say, 3 years have really stepped up to create a space for themselves where they are dressed up, they are fancy.
Yes.
Sometimes color coordinated.
It's true.
Which is amazing. But they are fancy, and this is important to them. Like this is an actual event that they get to do. And to tie in Meredith's work, which I know she'll tell you what she does in a minute, but we know as a community when we step out to support our youth, it makes a difference for them, and they feel supported and included, which are the things that we try to do. So I 100% agree. You're not doing anything that night and you're like, hey, I got nothing going on. This is a free event you can just show up at, get
Yeah.
snacks, support local youth. It's a very low lift with very big impact, and we love that stuff. So
And they're all super excited to share their stuff. This is every group is really creative and passionate, but there's something about the group this year that has this like wild drive that every Wednesday I'm almost running overtime at programming because they're just like, but they'll send me like, they'll be like, I have a story, it's 700 words. Can I read 700 today? And I'm like, no. And they're like, all right, I'll cut it down, 650. And they're like bartering with me. And I'm like, guys, that's not how that works. But it's because all of them want to share. So it's really cool. They're a great group of young people. So please come support them. Hopefully at that time too, their book Somewhere Between will be out again. So you'll be able to see the new edition of that with all the new work.
yeah, and what is the volume on this one?
25?
Is it really the 25th volume?
It might be the 24th or 25th. I should double check that.
Right, we should.
Because you can do like a
little celebration for that.
Russian edition. It's so cool. But yeah, please. And the books will be there for you to peruse and read through and just check out their work. They're phenomenal.
It's very exciting. May's a busy month for us as we're preparing for a lot of things. There will be a couple days where our office is closed, so we do want to let you know that. So Friday, May 10th, and right, is it May 10th?
Oh, yeah.
Planning day.
I say it, and then I'm so unsure of myself. May 10th, it is. And then Monday, that is our office planning day. So that is a day that we work together as a team and plan out a year of events for the community, programs, events, meetings, all that stuff. We try to be as planful as possible so that we can get information out to you guys. And so we spend the whole day just planning,
Yep.
and it's actually quite fun. And we come up with some pretty creative ideas. And so we'll be doing that for a full day. And then on Monday, the 27th, which it happens to be the Memorial Day holiday, we also will be closed. So folks can enjoy their Memorial Day holiday celebrating in the way that, fits their lifestyle. So yeah, so just a couple days to note, we're not going to be around. Other than that, we should be there like we normally are. Although it's busy, we're busy, lots of things going on.
It's really nice to feel like I like when there's a lot of foot traffic in the office and there's a lot of movement. Our office has been very lively lately. Our health and wellness person has a new puppy.
Yep.
So there's been a tiny puppy running around our office.
We've had a couple babies visiting us, which is all puppies and babies.
Puppies
We
and
love
babies.
it.
That's all we've had in the office. But, you know, you have a little puppy that's trying to waddle around the office, and sometimes you get
Chew on your shoes.
chew on your shoes, chew on my pants, but very worth
bite
it.
your ankles.
Yeah, very worth it. So, lots of love.
Another date, though, before I forget, because I know I will.
Yes.
Another date that's really important for folks in the community is our annual meeting. So we are asking folks to save the date. Our annual meeting will be Friday, June 28th, from 11:30 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon. What you need to know, it's in Adams this year at the Adams Theater. This is super exciting for us. We've never hosted our annual meeting in the town of Adams. We've done Williamstown, we've done North Adams, so this is new and exciting. What's also exciting about it is that this is where we're going to start talking about a lot of new things that are happening, exciting announcements. I mean, I don't think it's new and exciting totally that we bought a building, but there are going to be more things to talk about.
Yeah.
And so what we really want to do is see a lot of people there. If you've been to an annual meeting before, the first thing people think of is, oh, you're going to elect your officers, you're going to approve meeting minutes. That's not what we do.
That sounds boring. No offense.
I mean, it's part of the deal, but it's not what we do. Yeah. This is more of an annual event. It's a time to come and hang out, get lunch, have food. This is their first one for both of you, right?
Yeah.
So we like to play games and do activities. It's about being with people and celebrating community. So if you've never been, this is the year.
Yeah.
You should come this year. So save that date, Friday, June 28th. We'll have information going out, ways to register. There is a charge. It's $30 per ticket. However, we have generous community members and funding that we use to help offset that for folks. So if you can't afford it, don't let that be the reason you don't come. Mm-hmm. Let us know. There's a way to have a scholarship. We're happy to do that so that you can be there. But yeah, it's coming. It's not that far away.
So much fun. It's one of my favorite things to plan every year.
Yeah. What else do we got going on? Brian, you've been steadily working on our community resource guide.
Yep.
And updating that book.
Yep. I've been reaching out to people, trying to update contacts, trying to get new information in there. It's been fun. It's been really interesting to kind of hear what has changed in just a small period, just 2 years, because it was June 2022 was the last one, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see how things can change so quickly, and just kind of get immersed in all the things that are offered in the Berkshires. And all
Brian, for the new people watching, what's the resource guide?
It's just a guide that has all sorts of, as the name implies, all sorts of different resources. It has, transportation. It has, emergency medical services. It has food sites. It has a lot of different things, and it's basically any sector you can think of. It has some kind of mention of it, just a list of resources, contacts, phone numbers, emails, stuff like that, websites, just to give people knowledge, give people information that's, it's not really very easy for some people to, look stuff up on the internet or, find that information. Just having it in one contained place is just a really helpful thing for people.
I think it's so interesting. We all have one on our desk. So I think we all have a version. Most people we know that work in human service have a version on their desk. So that's always been helpful to see that. We do also provide it in Spanish and have for the last 3 versions, which is great. So there is a Spanish version. They are live on our website. You can find them, and we try our best. It doesn't always work great to have them updated in real time.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're watching this and you're like, wow, I didn't get my information in there, or I didn't talk to Brian, you can call our office.
And talk to Brian.
You can talk to Brian. You can, leave a message, let people know, hey, this information needs to be updated. And we're happy to do that. Once they're printed, updates we don't reprint them. So getting all that information now is really key.
Yes.
And last time, so in 2022, we were able to mail them to folks in North Berkshire. We will be doing that again. We have funding to support mailing one community resource guide to each address in North Berkshire. So I think last time it was just over 18,000 distributed. We'll be doing that again because what we don't want is for someone to say, I didn't know there was a resource guide.
Yeah.
What we do want people to say is, I got one and how do I get more so that I can hand them out to people.
Yep.
That's the goal. So thanks for that work, Brian. I think it's super helpful.
Yeah, it is. Your patience in doing that is really, really commended.
It's a job. It
is
takes all the time.
A tedium that I feel like my eyes would glaze. Like I'd be like, oh no, I can't call more
I mean,
people.
it's just, yeah, going through page by page, looking at what stuff's already up to date, what stuff needs to be updated, who do I need to call to make sure if there's information I can't find, just making sure people want to even be in the resource guide to begin with too.
It's a great point.
Yeah. And we've expanded it a little bit in the last couple of years. We've got some we focus so heavily on services and resources. We also wanted to acknowledge that we live in an area where the outdoors is a resource. And so there's recreational sites, parks, things of that nature. You might be new, right? Like you might have just moved to the area and you don't know where do you find.
I'm new. I just moved to the area
Right.
pretty much, so I didn't know.
So if somebody's like, oh, hey, Joe Wolf Field, where the skate park is, and you're like, I don't know where Joe Wolf Field is, right? But
We have a skate park.
oh, and there's our number. So if you have updates, thank you, Dave. You can call that number 663-7588 and you'll reach our office and anybody's happy to take information from you. Yeah. All right. Any other announcements or updates? What's good? What's new?
I don't think so.
Then let's go to what's good and what's new to my left.
Yeah.
All right. So we have new people. We love new people. This is the first time in a couple of years that our office has been fully staffed. And I can, I love that Reese clapping. I can honestly say the last few months have been some of the most fun I've had. We all know pandemic, blah, we don't even want to talk about it, but it's a lot of fun in our office, a lot of laughter, a lot of good work is coming out of our office, and it's all due to the team that we have. And so each time we're adding this new person, and they're amazing, we get even more excited, which has been the case with both of you guys. So we're super happy that you're here. Who wants to start?
Do you want to start?
Sure.
All right, we'll start with new. So Meredith, maybe you could tell folks like a little bit about yourself, how you ended up here, what your background is, and then like you've been here. Is this week 3?
End of week 3. Yeah.
End of week 3. Okay, I'm
Crazy
like,
enough.
there is this real thing where people start talking about how long they've worked with us, and I'm like, wait, you haven't been here forever? I thought you've been here forever.
It feels like
year
it.
43.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe a little bit about yourself, what you're going to be doing in our office, and then maybe some impressions like of moving to this community because you are new to the community, but also like coming to the coalition and what that's been like.
Sure. Yeah. So hi everyone. My name's Meredith. I just moved to North Adams about a year and a half ago. So I'd say I'm still new. But I came up from Connecticut. I was working down there for WIC for a while, and I have a background in nutrition. And then coming up here, I worked for the Food Bank of Western Mass for a little bit, where I was still using nutrition, but then I kind of felt like, I kind of want to branch out a little bit. I'm working towards my master's in public health right now, and I started looking for jobs and came across the Northern Berkshire Community Coalition and was like, whoa, what? This is cool. Look at all these cool things they do. And then I realized that they're right in North Adams, and I was like, that's amazing. So I applied, and I'm here. And I love it. It's been an awesome first 3 weeks so far. I've really enjoyed sitting in on all of the cool programs Krista and Brian have been doing.
Other Brian.
Other
'cause
Brian.
We have two.
We have 2 Brians.
This gets so confusing, but we have 2. So there are 2 Brians. Other Brian.
And I've just really enjoyed meeting the staff and getting to know everyone. And Amber has already taught me so much. I felt like my first day, like my first day, I would go home and just tell my husband, like, my brain is exploding, but I really like it. It's
In a good way.
feeling.
In a good way.
Yeah,
I
we're not
promise.
like taking out the new people. It's a lot.
It's been so cool, and it's really cool to be able to apply what I'm learning in school right now to actual real world things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I said it, but I'm the youth prevention coordinator now. So I'm really
And despite the title, which we've never been able to, like, it's such a, there's no good one. We've tried so many times. But youth prevention coordinator is really about Meredith doing work to help us. It's about environment. So we're not working directly with youth who have used substances to prevent more use. That is not what we're doing. But what we are, and we're not trying to prevent youth. That's also
No.
not what we're trying to do.
Please
We
don't
love
put
you.
me out of business.
We love working with our youth.
Yes.
But really what it is about trying to help our community understand how to create space and environments
Yes.
around our youth where they will, it's not an abstinence platform, but it's more about making good choices and maybe delaying use as long as possible so their brain is more developed and ready to accept the responsibility of recreational use, which we know is a real thing with alcohol and marijuana, which are legal in our state. We would hope that we would delay zero use of other substances if we can, but the reality is we want people to be able to make those choices and understand the choices that they're making. So it's a big job that you took on in a big place, and so we're really excited to have you and looking forward to all your like creative ideas that you want to throw into this, and hopefully your brain doesn't explode.
no,
Before-
it's growing.
Growing and exploding.
Growing is good, no exploding. Cool.
Quick fun tidbit in case our viewers don't know, but coming up in May as well, I learned that it is National Substance Use Prevention Week, May 12th to the 18th.
I didn't even know that. So see, she's already ahead of
Already.
me.
You know?
There you go.
We don't quite have anything lined up just yet because I just started, but who's to say? I mean, we already have all these other things going on, so we can always tie it into substance use
yeah.
prevention. So
Love
yeah.
that.
That's very
Keep your eyes
cool.
open.
Look at that. Now you're teaching us something already.
See, you
3
know?
weeks. That's all it takes. And then you're teaching.
It's the internet. Thanks, internet.
The internet can be useful. It can be.
Weapon and a tool.
Yeah, right. Cool. So let's hop over to Brian.
Yes.
So Brian, maybe the same thing. A little bit about yourself, when you came to the coalition, and then like what's it been like since you started?
So I think yesterday was 7 months since I started, so that was really fun. It's been a great 7 months. A lot of things that I've learned, a lot of people I've met. It's just really interesting experience. So my job, my title is I'm the program administrative specialist, and that entails a lot of different things. I'm usually the person at the front desk, so I help anyone that comes in. I answer phone calls. When I'm working at the computer, I'll do stuff on some spreadsheets, things like that. And
Answers all my desperate pleas. Brian, help from my office.
Or mine's from across the hall. Desk Brian, I need something. I need your help.
yeah, it can be confusing because Carissa's in with the other Brian.
So I call him Desk Brian. So don't ever think I'm being mean. It's because I have Supervisor Brian, and then I have Desk Brian.
It makes it really easy to differentiate. It's for everybody. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I try and also just whatever people ask of me, any of my coworkers, if they need me to call someone, if they need me to do something, if I need to do something at the bike collective or for an event or something else, I just try and help out in whatever way people need me. So
I mean, I think what Brian is humbly not expressing is that there are so many things that don't happen if we don't have Brian. So Brian is like a key part of the team helping us get things off the ground and running, and we can't thank you enough for doing all of the work you do. Anything specific that you've learned or like that you've like realized in 7 months of being on the team?
I guess, and this is something that I got a little bit in my last job. I used to work at iBerkshires, but just being immersed in the community, specifically in North Adams, and just seeing, what people are struggling with, ways in which people are thriving, just getting to see the community at events like, downtown Trick or Treat or, the Free Skate Day and stuff like that. It's really kind of eye-opening just to see, just simple things like that that are really beneficial for just the community at large. And for me, especially since the pandemic, I feel like I've noticed that there's a lot less of these things for, families or just people to go out and have fun and do things in just a family-friendly setting, just simple stuff like that. Like last week we had a free bowling event, and it was very exciting. We had a lot of people call in. We actually filled out our maximum. We reached the
We filled the
limit.
bowling alley.
Yeah, we filled the bowling alley. So,
And it was so much fun.
but just seeing that, like how needed these kinds of events are, I guess I just never really thought about it. It's just, but it's crucial for people. It just
Yeah.
gives them something to do. It gives them ways to bond with their kids or friends and family, and it just brings life to the area, and it brings life to North Adams, I think. So.
I
Yeah.
think real quick, I don't think I mentioned this, but from an outside perspective, coming up from, out of state to here, North Adams really has a lot to offer. And I think, out of all the places I've ever lived, I haven't quite found a community like the Northern Berkshire community where there's so much to do. And also, everyone knows each other, which is really cool in a sense. I know some people who have been here for a while probably don't agree, but it's really nice to be up in this area where everyone is willing to help each other. And, Northern Berkshire Community Coalition is doing a lot to bring some really cool events to this area.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. So not growing up here either, although I've been here for 18 years.
Oh,
so
man.
it goes fast.
It really does.
It really does go fast. But I think, to that point of, I grew up in an even smaller town where we like legit knew everybody because there's like only 500 people. But there is a similar sense or a parallel here that like after a couple of years, you can't go to Walmart or go get a cup of coffee or like, run into a store like Big Y without going like, oh, I saw 3 people I knew. So you might not know everybody, but you're not really in a place where you don't know anybody. And it is unique that way that people feel like there is community, even in the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Like, or in Tunnel City, either in Masmoka or in Williams, right? Like, it doesn't even matter what town you're in. I do love that. I think it's growing the sense of like, we do live in North Adams, but like I go to Williamstown to go to get coffee with people to like go somewhere else. I'm super excited. Not that we like to promote businesses, but to see a restaurant coming back to Cheshire for
Yeah.
that town. I think that's pretty exciting.
so
Like just to have those things where it's like I can go 10 minutes for a night out and go have dinner. And I'm not leaving North Berkshire, but I'm going to another town and I still know people. Like I bet you when I go to dinner at that place, Common Table, I think is what it's
Yes,
called.
common
Yes.
table.
Like I'm gonna see somebody I know, and I love that. It makes it feel like home, like a small town, even if it is for us at the coalition 10 towns, but you still have that feeling, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can say for me, I grew up in the eastern part of the state, and so coming up here for college, and I think I've been here about 7 years now. So it's a very different environment. It's just a very different place to live, just from anywhere else in Massachusetts or kind of in New England, really. And I think the most interesting part about it is that since it's kind of at the intersection of 3 different states, you get people from all 3 states.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
people from all places and all different backgrounds that just kind of mingle here. They might be driving through. They might work here. They might come here for, whatever it is they're coming here for. But it's kind of like a melting pot in a way. So.
Yeah, that's true.
You all made me just count. I was counting on my fingers. If I'm calling, so 2015 when I graduated college, I've been in the Berkshires for 10 years.
What?
I literally I don't know. I was counting on my fingers. I was just like, oh my gosh, and I couldn't believe it because
It's valid.
it's it's the best way to count. But like I'm much like other people at the table who are transplants. I'm from outside of Boston, and before I moved to the Berkshires, honestly, I had never seen a mountain before. Seriously, I grew up next to the ocean. Love the ocean with all my heart, but I had never seen a mountain. And I remember the feeling I had when I saw Mount Greylock. I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful. What do you mean? Like, I was just like,
This thing that comes out of the earth, it's lovely.
I was just like, how is this real? And I was so lucky to stumble into the work at the coalition because you were talking, Meredith, about how Amber's taught you a lot of things. And I was reflecting earlier with someone that since I was 23, Amber's been my mentor.
Oh, don't do this. We're on TV.
I
We're
was
not
like,
doing it.
I cannot believe, you've been mentoring me for so long, and it's this work that has made me. I didn't know youth work was a job, by the way. I had no idea. Had no idea this was a real job. And sometimes I go home and I'm like, oh my God, I just spent the day running around and having fun and at a bowling alley listening to 80s music and just loving every minute of it because. And I said this to Amber earlier, something we always try to focus on the coalition is I know we work hard, but like we also play hard.
We do.
You know, and I think it's so important that I feel like I'm in a space where I can laugh, I can be myself, I can sing and walk down the hallway, I can crack a joke to Meredith in the hall. And the amount of times I sit next to Brian and I just tell him something random and then I walk away, like Brian's like, why are you doing this to me?
Brian's really not sure what to make of most of us, I think, at this point.
That's why he's just sitting there nodding.
Brian's got to sign a non-disclosure agreement before he leaves. In like 30 years before you decide to retire out of it, we'll have you sign a
He's generous. Brian's not leaving.
I think my family wants me to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So.
I mean, I think that's a thing with families, but
Yeah. But it's just, it's incredible. It's just, this work is unlike anything that I think really exists. And it's very cool to do something. Like I'm at work right now. It's so, I do that all the time where I'm like, what am I
then
doing?
you get to tell people you're on a TV show.
Yeah, I'm like, this is my job. My parents called me when I was at the bowling alley last week and my dad was like, what are you doing? Why is there music? I was like, oh, I'm at the bowling alley. He was like, I thought you were at work. I was like, I am. And he's like, you don't work at a bowling alley. What are you doing?
Today I do.
Today. But it's incredible.
Well, and I think to that point, one of the great things is while we are each of us transplants to North Berkshire, we live here. We're a part of this community,
Yes.
and the coalition is 100% made up of people who belong to the community in some way. And so while there are days where we struggle and the job is hard
Yes.
and the work we do, it can be challenging. I loved what you said, that there's a part of this where we also get to see people thrive, and our office reflects that. We also thrive. And so, you know, we want to emulate that and model that for our community. It is good here. There are good things and there are people thriving. And the more we thrive, the easier it becomes to help those that are struggling, because then they too can thrive. And that's the point of what we do. The point of what we do is to help people use what they have to move from struggle to thrive. And that's what we want to do. So that's our goal. But we are super glad to have you guys and you. Don't make me cry on TV. That's not a thing.
It's
But like
year 8 for me at the coalition, by the way. Just saying.
year 8, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
We've got some longevity. I think Liz is at 18.
Yeah.
This is my 15. You're at 8. So
This has me beat.
we have all of it. There's a little bit of everything. So, but as we're winding down, I think for me to say all of this is that we also can't do this work without our community. So each person that shows up at an event, each person that comes to a forum, each person that volunteers with us, joins one of our collaboratives, says, hey, I care about youth and I want to be at events for youth and participate in how do we keep you safe. That is our work. It is not 15 people in an office that do it. It is the thousands of people that we engage with each year. And so we need you to do our work, and we want you to be part of the team, and you can come on the show.
Yeah.
How about that? You want to join our work and you want to be on the show, we'll have you on the show too.
Why not?
But yeah, so we do need that, and our hope is to do better and help people thrive in our community. And so that's what we're here for. So we're winding down. So I'm going to do the last thoughts. Last thought?
Just, I'm grateful for the community. Even when you share on social media, you like our page, you share our flyers, it means the world. So thank you.
Last thought?
It's just good to be on the show, and it's good to, it's good to be on TV.
Cool.
If you ever feel like stopping by the office, come on in, say hi. We'd love to meet you.
Oh yeah, please.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Last thought for me is I hope we see you. I hope we get to meet you. And thank you for watching our show. So we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.